What's up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 8 of Self-Assured. And today I want to share with you my top 5 lessons in leadership that have been so impactful for me to accelerate PCC, to accelerate my journey, and hopefully you will take something from them today. Something that has stood out to me lately is that we are working with more and more badass female leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, and people who do have full charge over the business that they work in. They have employees, they have staff, or they just have a lot of responsibility within where they work, and they take on a lot and they need to learn how to best lead and delegate and be that best version of themselves. So this is actually inspired by a office hour that we had with our clients. So 2 or 3 times a week, we have live coaching calls, group coaching calls called office hours for our clients. And we basically were going through like, how do we effectively delegate so that we don't have a zillion things on our plate? And why is it important to do that? Why is it important to let go of the belief that only I can do it? And I mean, if you've been following me for a while, you would probably have to assume that there's no way that I'm doing everything behind the scenes in order to put out all these YouTube videos, all the social media content, coach all the clients, do all the marketing, right? And I don't. I have a ton of help, and that comes through leadership. And beliefs I've had to break about leadership is that delegating is bad, no one can do it like me, and those things actually held me and the company back from being what it is today. And just to keep it interesting, I'm gonna overlay some of the clips that we have from our staff retreat back in August, because we filmed a bunch of it and we just never used it. We never used the content anywhere. And I wanna share with you my amazing freaking team. They are the best. Like, I'm just so grateful to be supported by and have people in on this mission with me that are so passionate about what we do. And we all got together and really celebrated that in that weekend in August. So throwback to summer for this video, and I'll show you a couple clips right now. So first lesson in leadership, number 1, culture and core values are everything. And that has been a huge lesson this year, how important those things are in your company to not only have, but uphold. And when somebody is not behaving in alignment with those core values, reinforcing that and not being afraid to call people out on that, because it does like create a stronger culture to actually enforce. Oh, we don't just say we're about these things, we are about these things. So our 4 core values at PCC are impactful integrity, courageous connection, energizing empowerment, and relentless growth. And we have put these together over time, and as a team, we have grown what these core values mean to us, and we're constantly reflecting on it and giving each other feedback on how we align or don't align with those core values. Because at that point, it's not personal, it's just this is what we have all signed and agreed to live by, and this is what gets our clients the best results, so this is what we're gonna do. And this creates culture. This creates team culture to reinforce that. And people absolutely love being held to better life standards across the board. It's not just hit your KPIs at work. It's what about your at-home KPIs? What about your taking care of yourself KPIs? And how is that in alignment with the core values or not? So that's one thing I think has been super strong at PCC and why we have an amazing work culture. Number 2 would be shifting the belief. So as an online fitness coach, my roots are in coaching. I love coaching. I firmly believe that I can coach almost anyone through anything. And I'm really passionate about the art of coaching people, understanding them and helping them overcome their own barriers. Now, when it came to growing my business, I had to basically shave my roster down. I only work with like 6 or 7 clients right now that have been with me forever. And at the beginning, it was a huge like, oh my God, I'm not coaching anymore. This is terrible. But the belief shift was, I am now coaching my team, and my staff is my coaching roster. And I think that the best leaders in a way are coaches, not dictators, not drill sergeants, not just people who yell at you to get it done, but they're people who are in the trenches with you, understand you, and can help you become your best self. I firmly believe that leading a team is not about having employees just do a shit ton of labor on your behalf and just squeezing them out, wringing them out for the work that they can put out. But developing them as people allows them to, of course, output more at work, do better at work, but they're happier, they're more passionate, they're more bought in, they love what they're doing, and there's none of that like resentment, there's no high turnover when you just treat your staff as human beings, as people who have lives and want to be better. Most people want to grow. At least all the people that we have at PCC want to grow. They want to be pushed. And so this allows me to do that. So my team is my coaching roster is number 2. Number 3, this one's a tough one for me and I'm still working on it. Trust is not trust without action. So for example, I can say, hey, I trust you to go coach this client. But if I'm micromanaging every single check-in, watching every little thing that they do, tweaking their words, being super micromanagey and never letting them have any freedom, I'm not acting with trust. If I say, hey, I trust you to have this conversation with a prospective client, have a discovery call, I'm not trusting them if I all of a sudden snatch the call and say, I'll put it on my calendar. Actually, I have some availability. I'll just take it. That's not action of trust. So what I've had to learn how to do is not only say, I trust you to do this job well, but to actually give it to people. Be okay with them making mistakes. Be okay with failure, and not feeling like I'm responsible for that. Like I'm responsible for them getting better from that failure, right? So that has been huge, and just putting true trust and faith in people has helped my team accelerate and grow and become the mastermind of their own craft. That has been the best thing. Number 4, lazy CEO is the best CEO. This is a quote that one of my mentors told me, and she was just commending me on something that I was doing well and that I felt like I was really leaning into. And so the saying sounds horrible, right? A lazy CEO is the best CEO. But what she meant was when you use your position at the top to connect your team with each other, to collaborate on things, versus taking on every responsibility, answering every question yourself. So for example, me being a lazy CEO would be someone comes to me with a question that I might normally answer, but instead of just giving them that answer, I'll say, hey, I think this person on the team actually has a better answer to that question than I do. Can you go talk to them? Another thing would be, okay, there's a task, there's a project that I really want to get done. Instead of sitting down, spending an entire Saturday and just doing it myself, which I very well could, I could probably do a good job and then teach it to someone else. I could save a ton of time and be a better CEO by saying, hey, you too, I'm gonna assign you this stretch project. I want you to really work on this over the next couple of months and then report to me with like a halfway through draft, a final draft. But I want you guys to really work on this in isolation without my help, because I wanna see what your brains can come up with. And I've done that a few times and it has been, I mean, incredible. Like, it's so much better than if I was involved, I swear. And like, just that peer-to-peer collaboration is incredible and they love it. And it makes a team better and more skilled and more thoughtful and more independent. So number 5 is to lead by example. This one is maybe a more straightforward one, but it's the one that's, I would say, is the hardest and is constantly evolving and always means something different based on the season. So for me, leading by example is not necessarily modeling the perfect picture of how my employees live their lives, but finding my stride. So one example of this is my morning routine. I have really been struggling with figuring this out, but I feel like I finally have come up on a solution, but it's not the typical solution that my team and a lot of members of my team would like. So most people on my team work Monday through Friday, and I support that wholeheartedly. And I would almost feel guilty for doing any work on the weekend because I was so adamant about them taking those boundaries for themselves and being firm in that, whatever those boundaries are. Like, I don't care if they want to work on the weekend and they're healthy doing that. If they're overworking themselves and feeling resentment, then that's not helping anyone, right? And the solution I came upon for myself is I actually have decided that the best thing for me and my routine, my schedule, my productivity is going to be to take an hour or two on Saturday, on Sunday, knock a couple things out and get ahead every weekend, and then be able to be more present for all the weekend activities that I have. Now, this won't be every weekend. Sometimes we'll be traveling, and here and there, I'll just want to take the whole damn thing off. Giving myself that permission to say, this is actually the thing that is going to give me the most internal peace and productivity and happiness and balance, because balance is oftentimes a word that is shoved into a corner of Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you're not doing that, you're not balanced. And I don't think that's true, especially not in entrepreneurship. And being able to clearly communicate that with my team and share, this is not a breach of boundaries. This is a setting of boundaries that works better for me. And you don't have to do this. It's just what I'm going to do. And leading by example with my health and my fitness. When I really started taking my health and my fitness seriously, following through for myself, my team started doing the same. They started setting better boundaries, working out more, taking better care of themselves, hiring coaches for themselves even, and making more strides in their own fitness journey. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that my personal investment in myself, having a coach, is a huge part of that. And in a new episode soon, I'll give an update on that fat loss phase and how that's going. But just really leading by example, consistently showing up for myself, my clients, my team, everyone. And it has paid dividends in terms of the team's morale, productivity, because now everyone is encouraging each other and taking care of themselves. So leading by example in every aspect of my life. And this is a constant work in progress. I'm nowhere near perfect. I just try to show up as best I can, because every level down from where I'm at, the level of commitment just naturally dilutes. That's just how businesses work. From the top down, I set the standard, and everyone's conviction, commitment, whatever you want to say, is slightly diluted from the top, because I am the most influential person within the business. So those are some lessons that I have learned in the past few years of being a leader, having a team, growing a team and scaling. And I hope that these help you. If you like this video and you like the little different style and tips that I have given in this realm of business and life, I would love to hear some feedback. So drop me a comment below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and got some value out of this, and I'll hope to see you in the next video.